The dream match that everybody's been clamoring about is finally here. Will Ospreay and the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Before the bell even rang, this crowd, it has been hotter than a deep fryer. These two, regarded as two of the very best in pro wrestling today. And year after year, Bryan gets voted as the best technical wrestler. When it comes to technical wrestling, Bryan Danielson is second to none. Will Ospreay, the way he's been able to innovate modern pro wrestling has been incredible. The Ospreay chants are coming in hot. With Bryan Danielson always being the wrestler to dictate the pace of a match, he works a slower, more methodical pace. And that's not to say that he can't work a fast-paced match, because Bryan can certainly do both. However, Ospreay is known to take a lot more risk. Ospreay, who, while regarded as one of the best in the world, can still learn a lot from this match with Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson has won world championships all over the world. Much like Ospreay, Ospreay is still, while Ospreay has been wrestling for quite a while, Danielson is the veteran of the two. The way you get better, the way you reach the top, is when you never stop learning, never stop putting in your best. If your body's at 50%, then you put 50% of what you have to offer. And that 50% is what you have to offer. On the days you feel the weakest are the days you push the hardest. Right now, in this early part of the match, we're seeing a nice little back and forth between these two. They're starting to feel each other out, get a sense for what kinds of things they can expect as this match furthers along, as we get into deep end territory of the match. Oh, it's like a slap on the head. These shots to the face of Ospreay. How much of it is doing damage, and how much of it is the mind games that come with it? Obviously, it's a combination of both. There's no doubt about that in my mind, that it is a combination of both. Meanwhile, Ospreay ducks Danielson, sweeps the leg. Nice little change of pace here from these two. Ospreay went for that standing switch. Danielson was able to block. Springs back and over Danielson. There's that innovative offense I was talking about from Ospreay. Once upon a time, the aerial assault. The way Will Ospreay has been able to evolve throughout his career has been so intriguing to watch. And that does have a lot to do with how long can you do the high intensity, high impact moves that Will Ospreay was doing. At some point in your career, every man and woman, all superstars, you have to find your balance. Especially if you want longevity in this business. Will Ospreay has found that balance between when is the right time to go high and fly and when's the time to play low and ground your opponent. Bryan Danielson only infuriated by Ospreay's chops. Oh, single leg takedown as Danielson goes to work on the ankle of Ospreay. This is a great strategy from Danielson. Going after the ankle of Ospreay will do a lot better of a job at keeping Ospreay grounded and preventing him from thinking about taking high risks in this match. And that with that being high impact moves off the top, springboards, it takes those out of play because you lose your balance. Danielson has the cravat locked in. Ospreay breaks it, but Danielson returns right back to it. Ospreay tried to roll through to break free of the cravat. Danielson, however, has that vice-like grip on the neck of Ospreay. Billy Goat himself. Wow. Look at that. That was impressive by Ospreay. Ospreay never ceases to amaze me every time he steps in the ring. This is a chance for Ospreay to further cement himself, to take himself to that next level. He's already at the highest level you can be. But to have a victory over somebody like Bryan Danielson can take you so far. It can truly elevate you. And not even just getting the victory over Bryan Danielson, but being able to compete against Bryan Danielson. As I mentioned, there are a few things you can learn from being in a match with a guy like Bryan Danielson. For Ospreay, this is the chance. This is the perfect time to take advantage of that. With this being the last year of Bryan Danielson as a full-time wrestler. How many more matches are we going to see of Bryan Danielson? It's going to be very few. Danielson coming in with some high impact in the Ospreay hung up on the ropes. Oh, Danielson went for that spinning kick, but Ospreay scouted it and held on to the ropes. Charged in hot at Danielson with a boot that sends the American Dragon to the outside onto the floor. Ospreay, he's calling it. Up and over. High cross body lays out the American Dragon. And Ospreay is reeling. Ospreay's in control. Bryan, who's been laid out by Ospreay on the outside. Ospreay now sends Danielson back into the ring, as this is the only place. I would say this is the only place this match can end. But the reality is, it's the only place that these two wanted to end. These two have been waiting for this match. Ospreay got hit pretty low. I might be a little bit too high up for the liver, but nonetheless, it was a devastating shot. Here come these knees from Danielson. Danielson spotted the fact that Ospreay pointed to an injury to the official. That Ospreay may have just revealed his own cards. Now it's become a weakness for Ospreay, that midsection, holding on to it. You saw that slight smirk from Danielson. The moment you saw Ospreay grab his side, it was all fair. It's all fair game from there. Danielson putting all the pressure now on the leg, taking control of Ospreay. Has top control of Billy Goat. Shots to the midsection to continue working on that midsection that's been bothering Ospreay, but also getting some headshots in. Wear out your opponent. Look at this submission hold. Like almost all tied up in some sort of engineered octopus lock. Ospreay was able to find the ropes, though. Realizing how close he was to the ropes, that was a benefit to Ospreay in that moment. He was very tied up, if you will. Ospreay didn't like that chop and responds with one of his own. Ospreay, while still fighting back, clenches for his side, his left side with each shot. Danielson now not going to back down as he continues to go for these body shots to Ospreay, continuing to do damage. The exhaustion that'll set in the longer this match goes on, it'll be harder to breathe. Danielson starting to pick up the pace. Ospreay springs back and comes back with a kick. Absolute brilliant offense by Ospreay. You never know when Ospreay's going to find his way back into it. It seemed that Danielson was picking up the pace. Ospreay was able to pull something out of the bag. Bryan gets caught with a massive boot by Ospreay in the corner. Ospreay springs up and a forearm. Danielson kicking out at 2. Ospreay, despite being hurt, moving quite well, still pushing through. Here come these devastating Kawada kicks that Ospreay picked up during his time in Japan. Ospreay up, nice kick flip, and follows it up with an enziguri. Ospreay. These were the high risks that I mentioned. To risk it all. Corkscrew off the top. The way he is able to contort and control. Landing picture perfect on Danielson. The way he spins his body around. As he gets Danielson back in the ring, Danielson doesn't realize it. And a shot to the back of the head by Ospreay. Ospreay calling his shot. A shot that Danielson is going to see direct the hidden blade. Oh, but Danielson goes right after the injured midsection. And now going for the elbow. This time looking to take the arm out of play to get the hidden blade out of the arsenal. Just like that, Bryan Danielson finds himself right back in the driver's seat, right where he wants to be. And here comes these hammering elbows on Ospreay. That'll do a lot of damage. Looking to transition into cattle mutilation. Ospreay is caught deep. You need to get your hips up. Ospreay needs to get his hips up to alleviate the pressure, to break the grip. That is the only way. He's trying to crawl back. He's got it. There you go. Ospreay able to find the bottom rope. Danielson was able to get the grip for a little bit, but as Ospreay was shimming his body and wiggling his way to the bottom rope, it was hard for Danielson to maintain that grip of the cattle mutilation. Danielson now going to focus his attention on the right arm of Ospreay that he uses for the hidden blade. The running kick into the corner. Danielson perching Ospreay up at the top. Danielson. But Ospreay lands on his feet. Little error in the playbook of Danielson. Not accounting for Ospreay's quick thinking. Ospreay gets a nice tiger driver. Ospreay looking to keep on the attack. Not waste any seconds. It seemed that Ospreay had taken a split second too long when he was trying to find a little bit of balance. Danielson was able to get back up and meet Ospreay at the top. Danielson once again hammering away on Ospreay. That's a big part of Bryan's strategy in terms of breaking down your opponent. Danielson trying to interlock his arms and lock the arms of Ospreay behind his back. Oh my God. No. Oh. A devastating tiger suplex off the top. Lays out Ospreay. The thing is, Danielson has taken some of that impact as well. Danielson crawling over, trying to capitalize on the opportunity. Can he make it? Is he going to go for the cover? And he pulls the far leg. Ospreay was able to move. He realized where Danielson was starting to grab that far leg for the cover, shifting his entire weight. But that heavy impact off that tiger suplex. Danielson continuing to weaken the options of Will Ospreay's arsenal, trying to now remove that hidden blade. And even if Ospreay does hit the hidden blade, it won't be as effective. It won't be as strong. Ospreay saying, you can't count me out, waving the finger. He's not done. And he sits up, pushing through. Danielson responds with a kick. Ospreay saying, bring it. Come on. Let's go. And a slap What a forearm by Ospreay. That just nailed Danielson in the face. While he did knock out Danielson, because Danielson has done damage to that arm already, there was that second you saw him grab the arm, try and get a little bit of feeling back into it. Try and do anything to reduce the pain level that you take while connecting with such a heavy artillery move. He's got the double underhook out on the apron, the most dangerous part of the ring. This is where careers can end. And for Danielson, careers ending sooner than you want it to. Ospreay. Cutter. He called a shot. He took it. It connected. Ospreay lands the Cutter on the apron, laying out the American Dragon. Now can he capitalize? Can he follow it up? Can he get Bryan Danielson back in the ring? That's the big question right now. That's what you need to do if you're Will Ospreay. He gets up, nails a picture-perfect Cutter. Danielson trying to use the ref to get back up. Ospreay calling it, perhaps looking for the hidden blade. And there it is. The hidden blade. Bryce Remsburg, who was attending to Bryan Danielson. Danielson didn't see what was happening. The hidden blade came hidden. That's for sure. Danielson certainly didn't see it. Ospreay gonna think about taking. And to think that I thought Ospreay had more integrity heading into this match, that he is willing to take a count-out victory in such a dream match between these two pro wrestlers, these two athletes. Danielson tried to pull himself up, and he just collapsed. We're over halfway at the 7 count. Danielson struggling. 8. Just before 9. Oh, and that kick to the back. Ospreay. Power bomb stacks Danielson up, but Danielson able to survive. Will Ospreay can't let the emotions get to him. He's got to keep his eye on the prize. Keep himself emotionally in check. That's where the mind games start to form. When it seems like your opponent is kicking out of anything and everything, you start to wonder, what's it going to take? What do I have to do? How many more tricks do I have that'll actually work? Ospreay went for another Cutter. Danielson countered. Danielson looking for the lapel lock. Instead, Ospreay saw it coming. Ospreay, who went for the power up on Danielson, but Danielson finds a guillotine. Ospreay was trying to counter, perhaps looking for a suplex. Danielson able to play on Ospreay. The lapel lock is now locked in. Ospreay is in a very tough position. He is going to have to fight with everything he has if he wants to get out of no man's land. He is in a very rough position right now. Ospreay, can he make it? Danielson now trying to wrench on the arm. Wrench it back. We've seen this before. Ospreay writhing, screaming in pain, trying to do anything to alleviate the pressure. He's going to have to find a way to torque his lower half to either get to the ropes or find a way, and he does. He gets to the bottom rope. The damage is done, though. The damage has been done by the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, to Will Ospreay. These two are fighting like hell. These two are fighting their hearts out. Bryan Danielson with these kicks. Absolutely brutal. That last one connects right to the back of the head. Danielson has Ospreay right where he wants him, measuring his man. Was looking for the running knee. Ospreay caught Danielson. Oh my. Ospreay. Oh! But Danielson countered with a Hurricane Rana. Ospreay able to kick out before the 3. Danielson went for a full Nelson. Danielson now going for a cover. Went for a German. Ospreay landed. Went for a hidden blade, but blocked. Boo Psycho knee! That's gotta do it. Hooks the legs. But Ospreay somehow finds the will, power to kick out. How in the world did Will Ospreay just find a way to kick out? Let's get a look at that. Again, Ospreay loses his balance when he misses the hidden blade, leaving the perfect opening for Bryan Danielson to get that running knee. That Busaiku knee. It was flush, too. That was all of it. Will Ospreay caught all of that Busaiku knee, yet he still fights on. He still found something, an ounce of courage. However, Danielson is calling it time to kick his head in. Kick his head in. This could be the beginning of the end for Will Ospreay. Stomping the life out of Ospreay. Looking to return to the label lock. Ospreay doing everything he can to block it from happening, despite all the stomps to the skull. Ospreay trying to keep his hips up. Getting a nice little fish hook there. Ospreay counters now, just nailing Danielson with his forearms. Danielson again trying to turn Ospreay over for... Tried again. Ospreay again with these forearms, trying to create some much needed separation. Trying to wear out the American Dragon. That's where you have to be at if you're Ospreay. Wearing down Danielson. Oh, triangle, triangle, triangle. Danielson could put Ospreay away with the triangle. The triangle choke locked in. Power bomb, but Danielson still holds on and still fights. And these elbows for extra added effect to put Ospreay to sleep. Doing anything he can to knock Ospreay silly. Ospreay counters with a Styles Clash. Can Ospreay go for the cover? Or is his body too worn out? Has he used his last ounce of courage? Ospreay and Danielson have just hit everything they've got. These two have lived up to the expectations and beyond of what the fans were hoping to see when it comes to this dream match. Trading headbutts. These two exchanging blows. Danielson. Oh, returning to some Kawada kicks. Danielson with a slap to the face of Ospreay. And another one to knock Ospreay silly. Ospreay starting to get a little bit wobbly. Ospreay leaving himself exposed to be taken out. But he fights out of it. And finds the energy to hit a hidden blade. Cutter, but gets caught in the back of the head with a both psycho knee. Out like a light. Absolute insanity that we've just seen. First that suplex from Danielson, then the hidden blade. Ospreay measures up Danielson, looking for the spring cutter. Danielson catches perfect on that Busaiku knee. Danielson is ready to call it. Is this the final shot? Are these the final moments of this match? Is Ospreay done for? Ospreay pulls off the elbow pad. He's not done. The fight is still there. They are gonna charge. And the cutter went. Rather, the hidden blade gets it. The hidden blade. Oh my God, that tiger driver. Danielson, who's been dealing with neck injuries throughout his career, could leave Danielson merely paralyzed. Remsburg, the referee, calling for the doctor. Oh my God. Ospreay's done it. Ospreay has put away the American Dragon. The aerial assassin himself. Billy Goat, Will Ospreay, has defeated the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, in one of the most grueling matches I have ever witnessed. The final collision was absolutely insane. If there's anybody that has the right to say that they are truly the best of the best, it's Will Ospreay, who has beaten the other best of the best. The best tactical wrestler in the world. Danielson has been beaten. And he's not looking too great after that tiger driver. Ospreay, great sportsmanship, checking in on Danielson, who's seizing up. Ospreay's victorious. The doctors are going to want to check on him. They're checking on him. A man with great heart for this sport and great respect. The type of compassion. Whether you enter a match not liking somebody, after the performances we saw from these two in this match, there's nothing but respect between these two. Danielson His head came up after the Tiger Driver. Danielson trying to get some feeling back in his hand. Danielson has had a history of, he had to retire at one point for issues like this. Nonetheless, Will Ospreay is your victor.